You have to win this game if you are the Seattle Seahawks and you want to have an easy road to the playoffs. Now, I don't want to dive too much into it here, but going down 0-2 in the NFC West is not going to be the place you want to be when you are just 4 weeks into the NFL season. I'm going to dive into all of that, but make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you can join us on Thursday. Producer Reed and I are going to be live an hour before the Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals. You're going to come in, join our watch party, have a good time commenting with us, liking the video, liking the stream, and who knows, maybe you'll even come away with a signed Walter Jones autographed jersey. I already said that this game is a must-win, but I know a lot of people are going to say, Will, it's so early for a must-win. It's a must-win because of the opponent that you are playing, and that is the Arizona Cardinals. When I predicted how your season was going to go this year, I had you by week 4, 1-1 in the division. But I thought you'd beat the San Francisco 49ers. You were unable, as the Seattle Seahawks, to get that done. So now you have to win this game against the Arizona Cardinals on a short week on Thursday Night Football. Just look at the NFC West standings. Right now, the 49ers, they're 3-0. They're all by themselves. I don't know if you heard this. They lost their best defensive end, Nick Bosa. He's out for the rest of the year with an ACL injury. Mac Jones has been their starting quarterback, right? Brock Purdy's been hurt. Everyone's hurt. George Kittle's hurt. The entire team is a walking mass unit, and we're in September still. So this division is prime for the taking. The Rams seem like they're going to be halfway decent. They end up having a loss. If you can beat the Cardinals, that makes the Cardinals 0-2 in the West. You'd have the tiebreaker over them. And you put yourself in a position to run the table the rest of the way in that division. If you're able to do that, who knows? You might be hosting a playoff game in Lumen Field. And that's what I want. That's what you want. That's what everyone in the Seattle Seahawks fandom wants. 12s, when I break down this game, it opened up with the Arizona Cardinals as the favorite. Pretty quickly, a lot of people, a lot of sharp bettors, a lot of gamblers understood that there was value on your Seattle Seahawks. The way that they have been playing this year, specifically at the quarterback position, is going to keep them in a lot of football games and give them an opportunity to win a lot of football games. I talked about the quarterback. I didn't even talk about the best unit on that team, and that's that defensive line. But before we get into any of the breakdown, before we get into any prediction, before we get into any of the preview, we do need to take a trip over to the doctor's office. Take a look at who's got some banged up, who's got some bruises, who's got some injuries for both teams. Starting off with the Seattle Seahawks right now, here's your main injury report. Some of you are going to look at that and say, hey, you're missing somebody. We'll get to them here in one quick second. Julian Love, he's got a hamstring injury right now. He missed the game against the New Orleans Saints. He was almost unable to go against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that this was more of a precautionary thing with Love. I think that Love is going to come out. He's going to play in this game. I think you got him extra rest against the Saints because you knew you didn't need him. You need him against the Cardinals. It's not hyperbole to go into this one and say, hey, this is a must win, and you need your best defensive players out there. I think there's a strong argument that can be made that Julian Love is one of those guys. Nick Eamon-Warry still dealing with that high ankle sprain. The hope is that he'll get out and moving and practicing as this week goes along. He wasn't able to practice last week, although Mike Macdonald did think that there was a chance he could go and practice, run around on Friday. He was a limited participant in practice. All three of them were, in fact, on Monday. So that's a good sign, but there's still no word yet on if everyone will be able to go. I didn't get to mention Devon Witherspoon there. I want to make sure that I do. He's still dealing with that MCL bruise. I feel like if you're able to run around, get a good lather against Pittsburgh, Seattle looked at this game and said, hey, New Orleans Saints, you're going to wipe the floor with them. We'll get Devon Witherspoon back for that Arizona Cardinals matchup. I think that's the smart decision. I think that's what they did there, and I think they're going to continue to move forward. That defense, I don't know if any of them are able to go. I trust the defense. I got my fingers crossed hoping that some of them will be able to go. Now, I know some of you said, hey, Will, there should be 4 players on that injury report because there was a certain running back that missed on Sunday. But first, we need to talk about today's sponsor, Tushy. A-hole, balloon knot, fart box, stink wrinkle, leather Cheerio, cornhole, mud button. They're only dirty words if you wipe. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with the promo code CHAT. Every Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. Instead of wiping endlessly with toilet paper, Tushy pristinely removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to one natural ingredient: fresh water. People who have made the switch to the Tushy use up to 80% less toilet paper. No more clogged toilets. I know about that. No more wasting money on something that does an inferior job cleaning your body. Remember, a-hole is only a dirty word if you wipe. Remember, for a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with the promo code CHAT. And he's back. Zach Charbonnet was a full participant in practice on Monday. That is gigantic for this Seattle Seahawks offensive unit. Not because he's going to come in and be the one running back, be the star running back, but because he gets your running back room completely healthy. Now, when we look at how Zach Charbonnet has performed on the year, you might look at it and say, well, 2.1 yards per average, that's pretty pedestrian if I do say so myself. But what you're not understanding is the style in which he runs. The game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, not Zach Charbonnet's best. Game against the 49ers, when Kenneth Walker wasn't able to get going and you needed hard yards, that's where Zach Charbonnet shined. He was right at that 3 yards per carry mark. He got into the end zone. When Kenneth Walker was getting bottled up and he wasn't able to find a hole, Zach Charbonnet was there. And that happened against the New Orleans Saints. They were able to bottle up Kenneth Walker, and you didn't have that power back that you needed. That's where Zach Charbonnet comes into the fold. I fully expect him to be ready to go on Thursday. My reasoning for this: if you're a full participant on a Monday practice, when you didn't go on Sunday, you knew you were sitting out, you were getting healthy, getting ready to go, because your plan and the entire Seattle Seahawks plan for Zach Charbonnet was for him to be ready to go and play in this Thursday night game because of how important it is. This entire running back room is scary when they're fully healthy because you have a bunch of different styles in running back. Zach Charbonnet, he's a one cut. He's going to be more power. Kenneth Walker, Le'Veon Bell, he's going to bounce around, find the open hole. He's going to hit it and explode for big runs. Even George Holani, who, look, I know he didn't have a great game against the New Orleans Saints. That fumble really sucks. He's still one of those guys who, when he sees a hole, he's kind of a blend of both. He's going to see that hole, make that one cut, and then he's silky smooth as he gets through it. Shout out to the Holani family who joins us on all of our watch parties. I believe that this team is going to be at its strongest when the Arizona Cardinals might be at their weakest this year. When you look at their defense right now, they're going to be without cornerback Will Johnson. You're also going up against a defense that struggles against the run. So where do they hold their calling card now? The Cardinals had been like, well, we might struggle against the run, but we can load the box because we have guys like Will Johnson, the Michigan cornerback stud who can lock down a wide receiver. He's not there anymore. So now you got more one-on-one options for Jaxon Smith-Njigba, for Cooper Kupp, for Torrey Horton, who's been absolutely electric, against a defense that can't even really stop the run. All of a sudden, everything's starting to open up. When you look at that wide receiver unit, where have you been at your weakest? Where are you at your most banged up? We already went to the doctors. We talked about all your injuries in the secondary. Zay Jones is in concussion protocol right now. Now, that isn't saying that he's not going to be able to go. He hasn't been officially ruled out yet. But you know how long it took Jake Bobo to be ready to go? It took him 2 full weeks. So there's a chance that neither one of these guys end up getting out on the field. If neither one, between Johnson and Zay Flowers over there, if neither one of them is able to go, Zay Jones, excuse me, if neither one of them is able to go, that is a gigantic step for your team, because spots where they were already weak, that wide receiver room, they haven't been making plays. Now you can lock down your corners and add more into the run stopping, add more into your blitz packages. That makes Kyler Murray's life worse. That defense, They struggle when it comes to stopping the run. Well, now they're going to struggle stopping the pass. This all bodes well for your Seattle Seahawks. I don't want to say that they're out for sure. That would be unfair speculating. That would be unfair of me to come in and say, hey, they're going to be done. I'm not a doctor. I'm not in the room. I don't know. But it seems like the signs are pointing to them not being able to go. You need to be prepared for anything and everything. Because when teams have guys who are out, especially in key positions, sometimes that's where you see things go completely against their tendencies. Maybe the Cardinals blitz more now because they don't trust their secondary depth. Maybe they run more trick plays because they're missing a key wide receiver. You got to be ready for everything. You got to be ready for anything. But I do think that the Seahawks are in a very good position here. Unfortunately, injuries are a part of the NFL. And right now in that running back room, the Cardinals just got weaker. James Conner, obviously, his season is done. He's going to have season-ending foot surgery. And I feel bad for him there, but that's another weapon that goes away from the Cardinals. This defense has been elite, and you've done a great job of letting your front five get after the passer and stuff that run game. If you're telling me that the Cardinals are going to have to completely rely on Kyler Murray to win this football game at that QB position, I think he's going to make mistakes. I think he's going to turn the ball over. You did that to a Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Imagine what you can do to little old Kyler Murray. Even Trace Gerard got an interception against him. Imagine what Darian Kendrick's going to do. Before I go into my prediction, I want to hear what your prediction for the score of this game is. Let me know in the comments. Are the Seahawks going to win? Are the Cardinals going to win? And by how much or how little? Let me know down below. I've got this game as a 24-21 kind of knock 'em sock 'em type of football game. I think both teams are going to get a weird, ugly touchdown in this one. Thursday night football it's so random. You play a game on Sunday and then you're playing right away. It's super quick. It's super fast. And sometimes teams aren't fully healthy. Sometimes you're unable to put in an entire game plan. So weird things happen. The ball pops out here. The ball doesn't pop out there. A punt return happens. A kick return. I think it's going to be a weird game. But with the way that this team is playing defensively, I think the Seahawks are going to get enough stops of the Arizona Cardinals. And then offensively, I think this guy who's going to pop up right now, I think he's going to lead you to victory. Sam Darnold has been awesome this year. He's been great at taking what the defense gives him. 14 for 18 against the New Orleans Saints. I understand the New Orleans Saints aren't very good. That's still a dang good number. He treated the Saints like he was playing a Pop Warner team, finding open targets, making throws while he's on the run that are accurate to Jaxon Smith-Njigba in the end zone. 50-50 ball to Torrey Horton where only Torrey Horton can catch it. Ever since that second interception against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sam Darnold has stopped turning the ball over and has started finding your wide receivers. It's because he's finally comfortable in this offense. It takes time to be comfortable in an offense. Sam Darnold's finally there. He's going to lead this team to victory by finding Yakima's finest multiple times in this game. Cooper Kupp had a very good game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he has another big game against the Arizona Cardinals. He's a wily veteran. He knows where the open holes are going to be. The Arizona Cardinals are a defense that has gone up against Cooper Kupp his entire career because he was in LA and he loves to pick on Cardinals defensive backs. I think that Cooper Kupp reestablishes himself as that 2 wide receiver. Not saying that he's not. I'm just saying that there was a lot of love to Jaxon Smith-Njigba, as there should be, second best wide receiver in basically every category in the NFL right now. And there was a lot of love to Torrey Horton last week, as there should have been. Multiple touchdowns. He's got 2 receiving touchdowns now on the season. They both deserve the love that they got. I don't think that Cooper Kupp's going to be overshadowed. I think he might even find the end zone a couple times in this game. Make sure that you follow me on social media at Will Ortner on X and on Instagram. You want to have a conversation about your Seattle Seahawks? You can slide into my DMs or reply in the comments over there. Make sure that you give me a follow as well, so that way I can respond back to you and we can have a fun conversation about our favorite NFL team. Until next time, I'll see you later.